Hi everybody, I wanted to give you guys an overview of the books that we got this week from the library and tell you which ones we liked and if we didn't like any, and recommendations on what you guys maybe should look into getting this week for your kids. So the first book that we got, Robo Sauce. My oldest absolutely loved this book. He loves all things robot related, but it was basically about a little boy pretending to be a robot and actually becoming a robot and wanting to turn everything else into a robot. And then you end up turning this book into a robot, which was a little complicated, but you have to fold it over and it becomes a new book all about robots, and it just talks like beep 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 for the rest of the book. My read for the week was Battle for Room 314. So it was basically about a guy's experience in a New York City high school and how he went in there. This is the author, Ed Boland. He went in there and wanted to make a real change, and basically his not success in the classroom, but very interesting read. And he does talk a little bit about the education system and some things that he recommends to change or to help change it. Dylan the Villain, which was about a little boy who was born a villain and he tries to be the most villainous, and he basically can't because there's a little girl in his classroom that is more villainous than he. So he thinks in the end that he can win a competition, but then, did he really win is the question. The end, question mark. We read a book about President Obama's dog, Bo, which was interesting. Some interesting facts about pets, presidential pets, when we liked that one. Also, this book, Wait, and you basically, the child wants to hurry, or the mom wants to hurry, and the child wants to wait and smell the roses. So just basically talking about stopping, smelling the roses. It doesn't always have to be hurry. This one, The Lonely Lioness and the Ostrich Chicks, basically a legend. And it's about a lioness who was lonely, and she sees an ostrich who has her chicks, and she decides to take them, and she wants them for her own. So of course the ostrich mother is angry and wants her chicks back. So she tries to enlist the help of all these animals to try to trick the lioness to get her chicks back. And she does end up getting her chicks back at the end. The next book we had was The Book with No Pictures, which is a favorite here because it talks about how the reader of the book has to sing or do whatever the book says. So we get pretty silly with that book, and my kids love it. With Any Luck, I'll Drive a Truck. So it's about a little boy who has basically a room full of trucks, and he talks about which trucks he drove when he was 2, and what he upgraded to when he was 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, and then it ends up to where he just shows his whole room full of toys and talks about what he wants to do when he gets bigger. Who Hops talks about the movement of various animals, slithering, salamander, snakes, and then it's silly because it says elephants slither, and then no, they don't. So it talks about just various animals, how they move, and then makes some kind of silly comment about an animal that is supposed to do that thing, but it really doesn't. Pretty fun. My 2-year-old loved that one. Monster Mama. I'm not sure about this book. Basically, the mom is a monster and is very different, and the boy comes across some bullies who start talking about his mother, and he gets super angry about it and goes a little crazy, basically acting like his mother. And then the mother comes out to defend him, and You know, it's just like, you don't have to be ashamed of me. I love you, even if I am a monster. I'm not sure my kids really like this one, but you know, we're always up for a new read. Orangutanka. So this story is in poems, and I love the illustrations in this one. It was pretty fun, and it talks about the orangutans with the mother and the father there too, and basically they're in some kind of zoo or some sort of habitat, I think, and just about their experiences with children or with people in that area. And then it gives a little bit more orangutan facts in there and where to look more facts up online. With Kai to the Rescue, which my son Kai absolutely loved, especially since he also wants to be a firefighter. So this book is about these 3 firefighters who work at fire station number 10, and they feel like they're doing a great job there. And then Kai comes along, and you know, they're like, we don't need you here, we're pretty good, and plus you're green, which is not a good color. You shouldn't be green. So they just, you know, meet him with very much negativity. So he basically, throughout the story, he tries to color himself red, and then he tries to prove himself while there's a big fire. And they do come to accept him and then let him join the fire station. So it was a nice story of acceptance of something that is different. And then the last one for this week was Room for Rabbit, which I didn't intentionally pick, but it is a book about divorce and trying to figure out life with divorce. So she has a rabbit, and she's just trying to figure out where there's room for. So she stays at home with her mom usually, and then also part-time lives with her dad and his new wife. So, you know, she goes there and she's trying to find room for the rabbit, and she's thinking that, you know, there's no room for them there, and she finds out that there is in fact room for them there. They do want her there. And the same thing at home. She asks, you know, is there room for us here? And the mother says, of course there is. So just basically a child learning how to cope with divorce. Thanks for watching all the books that we got this week. Hope you found some that you might want to check out and enjoy yourselves. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box. And have a great day.